It is often said that the journey of entrepreneurship is one horrific one. How true is that? Is that a myth or it is the reality? Today I'm here to talk to Mr. Riffath Yakub, the Executive Director and President of the National Academy of Students Achievement Awards, who is in the business of awarding excellence among students in their various disciplines, extracurriculum activities, and outside the classroom excellence. Today is one of the most inspiring things I'm about to do because Mr. Riffath Yakub has over the years channeled a great energy in the student front, student activism, student excellence, and is actually rewarding students who go over their comfort zones to achieve excellence. Mr. Riffath Yakub, I welcome you to BTC Official.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and it's an honor to also be on your platform. I understand I should have paid for to be on this platform, but inviting me to be on is a special thing for me.
Thank you so much.
Especially those students here in Ghana and beyond who might not have the opportunity and the luxury to also know what we are doing through your channel. It will go beyond their wider reach for many other students, and then you to also have a feel and understanding of what we are doing for them. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. You're welcome. Yes, let me remind you that this is DTC Official, your number one stop channel for all forms of human potential development. And another thing, after this interview, after watching, this interview will be turned into an article on our website, dtcofficialgh.com, at the business section. Just go in there after watching this video and make sure you have a look to draw out the inspiration we have scribed on the website. So, Mr. Riffath, we understand that entrepreneurship is one journey that nobody else takes except the person ready to take risks, the person bold enough. Some even say entrepreneurship is a calling. We want to know how has your story been so far?
Let me borrow your own words. Some say entrepreneurship is a calling. I think in most cases, you would side with that school of thought that is a calling because the challenges, the temptation, the disappointment that comes with entrepreneurship, if it is not something you are purposely created to embark on, but you say somebody is doing something, so you want to also do some. What I mean to say is that you're copying what somebody is doing, then you may not be able to succeed or continue with any sort of entrepreneurship journey, because it's a very, very dedicated journey, committed journey, all-time consuming journey that have an umbrella of, branches of disappointment, rejection, failure, disgrace, loss of money here, and especially at your prelim stages. That is when you really face some of this challenge. So if you are not really certain and positioned well for this, you will sit back and say, who even sent you to do this? Then you have to stop everything.
It is a journey with the branches of disappointment, disgrace, loss of money, and all the things you can think of. So now let's come to the National Academy of Students Achievements Awards. How did this journey begin for you?
Thank you very much for this question. NASAD, which is National Academy of Students Achievement Awards, Ghana, actually started in 2020. But the idea came in 2019, November. Now, when I was in school, in the university, at the latter part of my second year, I came out with my first business. That is an event company called Testa. So Testa is basically a corporate and educational event company. So we consult and also organize or plan and produce events in the area of education and in the area of corporate businesses. And so what we were doing in the area of education is that we collaborate with industry players, business owners, HR professionals to come to the doorstep of students, to train the students on what contemporary time business industries or the job market is requiring from students. Because when I was in school, I was very keen at going for seminars, industry-based seminars, workshops, and these things. So one thing came common. Business owners were complaining that the schools are not producing the kind of graduates they want to employ. And so then I realized there is imbalance between what the school is producing and the kind of graduates that the job market wants. Then I said, okay, then there's an opportunity for me, because that reminds that entrepreneurship is solely solving societal challenges. Once you identify a problem and you solve that problem for society, it means you become a full entrepreneur. Be it a commercial purpose or for social purpose, it's a business because you're solving problems. Because at the end, society will begin to patronize the solution you have brought to them. And that is where you begin to, kick off and kickstart with your entrepreneurship journey. And so we started with Testa, inviting these corporate professional business owners I've mentioned to come and train the students on what they have to know, how they have to prepare before they get out of the school to the job market. And so basically we are preparing students in entrepreneurship and business, leadership, and employability readiness. And so we started that in 2018, like I mentioned, when I was in school. And then 2019, fast forward, myself and the team, first of all, I taught a lot, and I have to think a lot to realize that how best can we sustain the business of training students and also being corporate or concept. In the area of students training, how best can we sustain? Now we are training students, then it means we have to come out with something that would recognize those that are learning from us and are implementing what they are learning.
I want you to understand that the first lesson here is to brainstorm. If you are watching this video and you are refusing to think, from his speech, you understand that it is all about thinking. It's all about using the brain to brainstorm. That is the first note I want you to make. Now let's move in.
And so we said, let's bring NASA. That is the National Academy of Students Achievement Awards Ghana. So the award is based on achievement. Okay. What a student have done that have earned him any value. The value here is that can be utilized to make money or to make a living. So whatever a student does to earn him or her a sort of value is an achievement. And so some of our students, when we started training them, some started their own business. Those that were already in their enterprise also learned something which they practiced or repeated saying in their journey, and it helped them. And those that wanted to go into student leadership also learn about what leadership is all about and how you can start your leadership foundation, carry it on and progress it. Some of them also became, fantastic student leaders. And so the award came in that now we are going to award those that are doing well in their respective chosen field of expertise, spanning creative arts and entertainment, business and entrepreneurship, leadership as well. And so that is how NASA came in. So when the year starts, we go to the schools, we collaborate with the schools and train the students on these areas that I've mentioned. And then at the end of the year, we open the award nomination for students that are doing any sort of legitimate work to pick nomination, and then we award those that are doing their best.
Now let me tell you this. This is one reason why I decided to interview him. He's not just interested in the awards. He's interested. They keep track of what are you doing to add value to yourself, what every student is doing. And they just don't leave them like that. They mentor them. So as he said, from the beginning of the year, they move into these schools They try to educate the students, teach them on leadership, creative arts and entertainment, entrepreneurship, business and entrepreneurship. And then at the end of the year, they look at what value have you added to yourself, and then they award these excellence or these individuals. This is something I'm so proud of, because I'm also in the field or the business of adding value to people. And so when I see things like this, I just love it. Now, the idea started in 2019. The idea came in 2019, but the real thing started in 2020. We are in 2023, and it means that it's 3 years on. And remember, his entrepreneurship journey started before this awards thing. So I want to find out, what are some of the challenges, I would say, the three most extravagant challenges you have ever encountered, and how did you deal with them?
My foundational 3 challenge. 1, how your parents, your first circle, that is family or parents, are even going to believe in what you want to do.
Wow.
Second, beyond that, your follow-up or second immediate environment, that is your friends, the community, the network. Are they people that are going to motivate, support you, also believe in the cause? And then the third most challenging is, who do you run to when you feel or when you really want somebody to comfort with you, somebody to share, you can share your pain, disappointment, and rejection. If you don't have these blocks that is in support of what you are doing, it is very, very dicey. So, me, when I started back in school, my mom told me point blank that you were sent to school to go and learn, to go and study. Graduate, come and find some work to do. I mean, you can even be a teacher. So once she said that, it means her support is not there. Her support is only to see you pass your exam, and then you write application looking for work to do. So the support is not there. Even when you need money to do something, it's not there because she doesn't believe in it. And it's not her fault. The reason is, what is the assurance that what you are doing is going to succeed? 3, is the country having system that is even supporting, making it friendly for young entrepreneurs to survive and excel? It is not there.
That is a question for the boss.
So I have to carry on everything all by myself. And then I mentioned the follow-up or second immediate challenge, friends and then the community. Do they also believe in it? Because I was in school when I started a business, I had a set of friends. Those that believed in the cause, those that didn't believe in it at all. And so those that believed in would be like, I mean, try your best. We all cannot be in the space of going to look for a job here and there. And those that didn't believe in it are those that will demotivate you, make all sorts of mockery, especially when you attempt something and you fail. Then they'll come back and say, you could have used this money for something better rather than doing this thing. It won't take you anywhere. I remember, I wish one day God will let me meet that gentleman. Me back in school, he told me point clear that, my brother, if I were you, I'll use this money to go and buy bamboo and meat to eat. What you are doing, you are just throwing your money away. Yes, so these are all part of the challenges. So if you are not having the strong heart, the resilience, the strength to fall and get up and go again, some of these words will just paralyze your motivation. All right. And then the third one also that I mentioned is
where do you run to?
Yes, where do you run to? Now, if you fail, your money is gone. Where else do you, put some small money together to continue? Because home is not in for what you are doing, but you don't believe in it. And the worst part is when you fail, they'll tell you, we told you you can't make it. So indeed, you have failed. You can't go back to them and say you want some money. Your friends that doesn't believe in you would mock you, make laughter, tell you you could have saved this money for something better. Who would you run to? So that brings about the importance of continuing networking and seeking mentorship and finding out among all your networks those that really believe in you. Thereby, if you are into a challenge or you fall into a challenge, you can run to them, share the challenge with them, share the pain with them. And it is not only words that sometimes they will share with you to comfort you. If the need be that they're pushing you at a certain level, they will do. And so these are the most three challenges. These are the most three challenges.
If you remember my interview with Dennis Apiala Abiampofu, who gave us the raw facts on how he has struggled in his entrepreneurial journey, he spoke about the support systems. And so I'm not surprised that Mr. Riffath here is also making the same conversation about support systems. I remember Mohammed Sani says, if you start your business and your parents or the society supports you, even if you don't have capital, you are 50% sailing through. Because I personally, sitting here interviewing him, I have had my own share. I'll talk about it someday. But let's look at it from another way. Now, upon all these challenges, let's say somebody is looking at venturing into the business of inspiring people. What will you advise the person?
It's an open business for everyone, but the criteria will differentiate between those that are ready and those that are not ready. You might see some of us flourishing in the business that we are able to collaborate with schools and student leaders to train. It is not an easy investment. Just to organize even just 20, 30, 40, or 50 people to train them, it is not a small investment. Price of venue. Price of, how much it's going to cost you to book or invite your trainers. How much it's going to cost you to refresh them. And before that, your publicity, promotion, the catering of the training, that is media aspect.
I think it's enough. I think
it's not an easy investment.
Yes.
And then after measuring all of these things, where do you get the money to do it? And remember, it's a social enterprise. It does not mean it always goes free when you are not getting anything in return. It shouldn't be a business of basket where you always pour in and you don't retain or you don't get profit. So how do you strategize yourself? How do you reason? How do you think broadly to make the business sustainable? Not necessarily always focusing on the profits, but to make it sustainable.
Now, the aspect of sustainable lets me tell you that sometimes success is not always about winning. It's about holding on when others are losing it. So how do you make it sustainable? And let me remind you, a social enterprise is basically an enterprise that makes profit but puts it back into the society as a form of its main operatives. And so NASAG is basically a social enterprise. And he says it's not always about the profit. It's about the sustainability. Because for what I know, how sustainable you are able to keep your business is what builds your credibility over the years. Now, I want us to delve a bit into a dicey situation. I've always had the idea that government is always preaching entrepreneurship. Government is always preaching support for young people. But to even register a business in this country is one hell of a big journey. What are some of the things you think? Do you think the government is doing enough? Are there any recommendations? Could they make things very easier for us as entrepreneurs? Probably certifications, documentations, and stuff.
Admittedly, government on the scale of 1 to 10, and this is not to mark the current government, I mean past government to the government of the day. Resources, policies that are supposed to be enacted and developed for the purposes of developing young entrepreneurs and sustaining them to the success level where they become independent business operators. I think on the scale of 1 to 10, I'll give past and current government half of 10. Half of 10. Half of 10 is on the fact that they have come up with some policies, but the implementation of the policies is what sometimes is not satisfactory at all. Because NEP, National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, is a fantastic policy that could have, support the youth-based entrepreneurs or youth entrepreneurship ecosystem. And then You Start, which was introduced or launched in, I think, 2 years ago, 2021
Yes.
or 2022, thereabout.
Yeah, but this year I was part of the training. I don't know how far it has gone.
And then Ghana Enterprise Agency as well. So, why Youth Employment Agency? All of these policies and agencies are fantastic. But the question is, why do we still have the cry of young entrepreneurs that we don't have the support system? So then it means we have the system, we have the policy developed and the agency created, but for the purposes, we are not seeing the success. We are not seeing the fruit of it.
We have the
they are being what, in their own words, their best. But the best, we are not seeing it on the ground. Because the reason we chose to do our business with the schools is that if you take 100% of the graduates in a year, it will surprise you that below 10% out of the 100% are those going into self-employment and entrepreneurship. 90% of that population are all going to look for jobs.
It's quite scary.
Very, very scary. And out of the 90%, government can only take not even up to 10% of that population. The private sector can only take maximum up to about 25-30%. Now, our government, let's be charitable enough and say government is taking 10%, private sector is taking 30-40%. So average 50%. So the 40% population, they are down there. So every year we get about 40% of the entire graduates sitting home, not getting job to do. And the 10% I mentioned earlier, that wants to go into self-employment or entrepreneurship, they're struggling. We all know, we all see. You mentioned of going to register a business. I would have wished that there is an incentive such that if you are a fresh graduate or a student or a young person going into a business and you want to register, I don't see why you should be charged the same amount of what a multinational company would be registering. I am here, if I'm to go to register a business now, the same amount I'll be charged as a sole proprietor is the same amount somebody with a huge capital who is above or twice my age and have the money sitting there will be charged. Secondly, after registering the company by paying, every year I am required by law to renew my company, and that comes at a fee. Not expensive, but it comes at a fee. Beyond that, the state doesn't care whether after registering your business, 1 year after, 2 years after, you're making profit or you're not making profit. We are not looking at your progress, your sustainability. What are you going through? We are looking at come and pay your tax. All right.
Yes.
So it's very, very crazy to go into the field of entrepreneurship. I will take this opportunity to commend international organizations, NGOs, most of them that are here in Ghana supporting, young entrepreneurs. In addition to the small ones that government agencies, those that I've mentioned, are also doing. But government can do better. We are not saying government should continue to employ. No, that it cannot be the solution to unemployment. Government can only facilitate the ground, make it friendly, make it environmentally okay for young people to prosper. I said it on a different platform that if government agencies, those handling or leading those agencies, had prioritized the reasons for which those policies were developed and the agencies were created, government itself would have ended up making enough money. Because when the international organizations come to Ghana and they support you, they keep track of every support they're giving you and monitor your progress.
Exactly.
To the point where if the support given to you, it is meant for you to pay a part of it in future, they will support you to the point where you can do that payment and progress and connect you to progressive systems. What are we doing here? And so if government has prioritized that, especially my critique will go to those leading it. So government have done its part, or the president have done its
Looks
part,
like
creating
the
the
evaluation and the driving of it,
it's where the problem.
mentoring beneficiaries.
Okay, so you mentor us, you let us understand how we can succeed in the business. You give us, sometimes it is not the money that we will need, but because we are naive and we don't understand the business very well, we think it's the money that we need. Sometimes it's just mentorship.
Exactly.
It's just guidance, and we are good to go.
Mentorship with a support system.
So if all of these things are there, government will keep track of the investment in us and say, for you and your business, we could say in the next 3 years, we will begin to break even. In the next 5 years, we begin to make a profit. Now, when the 5 years is due and you start making your profit, we are going to help you. Out of the profit, 30% go back into the business. 30% should be an investment. 30% should be for, payment of salary and procurement of raw materials and other stuff. Until when you begin to make enough profit, where government will say, okay, you would be paying tax now. And the tax, it can be what do you call it, percentage added, or like you go to the bank, you take a loan. There's a percentage that you pay. So government can say, because we supported all this while, you would have been paying, let's say, 1 city tax per month or per annum. But for the past 3-4 years, you've not paid, we help you. So you can pay 1 city 50 pesos. And they can know that you can pay the 1 city 50 pesos, survive and sustain.
This is it to the government. The support systems from the government side, the policies are they are great policies, but its drivers, its leaders, those leading these policies, or personally I think, or Mr. Riffath also thinks, that enough is not being said of their best they think they are doing. Enough is not being said of their best they think they are doing. So with this said, let me remind you that this is DTC Official. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. You can check in the description below for the website and social media handles of National Association of Students Achievement Awards. And don't forget to share this video to a loved one. Now we are going into the latter part of this interview. I've enjoyed Mr. Riffath so far, but what I want to know, you have been training youth in the youth development, you have been mentoring them. And as you said, when you were speaking, you said it is even difficult to get 40, 50 people, 50 students to sit down for a very developmental program that will add value to themselves. If you look at your work with these students or across the youth sector, what do you say is the current mindset of our youth? Is it progressive? Is it something we are looking for? Is it promising?
To speak on this, not based on statistics or on fact, but per observation, the trends of today. Our peers or our colleagues, the youth, are more close to what will give them joy, entertainment, than what will add value to them, and they can leverage the value to make life out of it.
Now, I'll pause there. Let me say this. I always tell people my YouTube has been struggling for the past 2 years. It's not because of anything but what he's saying. Suppose if I was into the entertainment industry where I'll be sharing women bottles, somebody insulting somebody, in case I would have been a critic of entertainment industry, I would have been doing well. But I choose to add value to my fellow youth. And so I'm struggling. So I'm only affirming to what he is saying. Let's continue.
And I have this personal post that youth of today, we are not able to identify our wants and needs. And so we have come to prioritize the want over needs. The needs is what will make you survive. The want is just what you come to quench your pleasure. What you need is things that are going to add capacity to yourself, make you very intelligent. Intelligent not just limited to book. Intelligent as in how to use your brain, your mind to survive, to make money. We are not in for that. Why are we not in for that? In most cases, we cannot blame ourselves or you cannot blame them. The orientation, the upbringing. If you start from basic education to JHS to secondary, currently or nowadays, I am seeing a bit of development in that. But before, hardly would you see or you would ever experience industry-based seminar workshop for basic level, preparing them to understand that even at that tender age, they are worthy of doing something. All we let them know is that it's all about study, pass the exam. So unnecessary competition in the classroom have made us grown up to think that it is somebody's responsibility to create a job for you and I, because if I sit in the classroom, study hard and pass, I'm going to get a job. You see the orientation, the educational orientation. Away from basic JHS, you come to secondary. You are expected to write WASI. It doesn't matter the practical courses you're reading in secondary school. It's worse off if you're reading the arts courses. You are not exposed to any workshop, any industry-based seminar summit that will begin to challenge your thinking, will begin to challenge your mindset at that level. So that by the time you enter university, you say, no, university, I'm now exposed to a whole lot of discipline, whereby after that university level, I can put together all these different disciplines to come out with an idea that will follow up and will end with something. And so the upbringings in connection with the orientational mindset is causing the youth not to identify between what is good for them and what is just ordinarily okay for them. And so you come out with a training program. You want to teach them how to prepare CV, how to, equip themselves with employability values or skills, how to become generational leaders, how to even identify problem, take that problem, turn it into a solution, and start making money from it. Mm-hmm. Versus you're doing a pool party. The training could be free. The pool party could be paid. Any lesser amount, let's say 20, 30, 40 cedi. If you take the party one, chances that the venue would overflow is high.
It is
But
sad.
if you take the training one, the first question most of them will ask you is, will there be at 10:30? So the person has only prioritized what they are going to eat. Eating is a form of joy, pleasure, but not the training which they can take advantage of to be eating forever. But that single day food that they will eat in that 3-4 hours training is what they are thinking of. Okay, so this is why it is a very, very important thing for us to collectively come together to say, let us begin to change the mindset, the narrative, so that we would have graduates not only thinking of somebody giving them job, but instead they'll also come together, or better still, individuals going into any sort of legitimate enterprises.
All right. This is sad. I just listened and I feel sad that we prioritize pleasure, entertainment, things that are of little good to our system, to things that will develop us, that will help us to, take care of our future. Now, this has been an incredible session with Mr. Riffath. Thank you so much for coming. But I want to ask, are you done with your nominations?
Okay, for this year, we are done with nomination. Public endorsement voting is ongoing and would be ending on the 15th of November, and the award is slated for 18th November.
Oh, okay. So, is there a website, anybody?
Oh, yes. When you log in, you take your phone or your computer, it's www.nasaag.com. The Nasaag is spelled NASAAG. NASAAG.com.
All right,
and
so
it's the same Nasaag
everywhere,
all the social media.
All right, so just as he said, the link or the website, the link to the website and all social media handles is in the description below. Kindly check the description and make sure you check out who they are, so that next year, you as a student, you can add value to yourself to be recognized in this awards category, any award category. Mr. Riffath, your last words of advice to our audience.
My advice always has been that it's two things. Identify yourself as a student or youth. I love to mention the students because they are my target audience or market. Learn to identify yourself. Be able to have your self-actualization, which is, are you somebody that can go into business or entrepreneurship? Or are you somebody that can leverage some of your talent and use your talent to render service to earn a living? It could be that, okay, you can't really go into full entrepreneurship or business. Then add value to yourself so that by the time you're done with school, you are competitive. How do you do that? Get a mentor, start going out for events, trainings, workshop, impact-based, trainings, conferences, and seminars. Connect with valuable people. Share contacts with them. Check up on them. Ask them questions. What can you do? You want to learn from them. So that by the time you are done, you have a list of great people in the job market that even if they are not going to get you a job, you can leverage their friendship to end up running errands for one or two of them. That will keep you busy at the end of the day. And per you being busy, they are testing behind the scene your integrity, your temperament, your honesty, your humbleness. And so by the time you realize you have a job that you have not even bargained for. All right. It's just a simple thing, not expensive, but if you don't know it, you might think, and most of us think we were fortunate, we were born into the network of, business owners, and no, it was a deliberate attempt. Deliberately.
What people don't know is that I remember somewhere 2017, I had to pay 500 cedis to attend the seminar, not to learn, to get a contact of a particular someone. So
and it
yes,
pay off.
exactly. It has already paid off.
Very good.
I never regret that decision.
Very good. Internship is phenomenal. Go on internship. Some of my students, once you want to process them for internship, Mr. Riffath, honorable, please, would they pay me?
Sure.
I have lived in the city before. In my university days, during our long vacation, I did one of my internship at Asantemai House of Chiefs for 2 floors. There. My brother, there was a time I live at Asuebua. Sometimes I would have to walk from Manshia all the way to Sofo Live before I'll continue. You know why? Not because mommy cannot pay, but it's mommy thinks you are in the university. You understand? So you are doing internship. Maybe you are being paid or you are being given something from the office. Nothing. Sometimes at the end of internship, 200 cedis. That 2-3 months internship, 200 cedis will be put in an envelope to appreciate you. Fine, God bless them. At least they've shown some love.
Exactly.
But before the end, how do you make it? I have worked. Okay, but today, you know what? I can take advantage of that because I have a network of
Somebody there.
Somebody. And I believe I was tested. And I proved to them I'm somebody you can trust. You can count on.
I know somebody who when I posted your picture, somebody spoke to me about you, how humble you are, how I'll tell you after the interview.
Thank you very much. And so connect with people, my dear students, my dear young ones. Arrogance negative. I wish I could have talked about arrogance in the area of student leadership. Our current crop of student leaders are not really practicing what I call humility leadership.
I think we will need to reschedule another one.
Very good. So please, I am ending here. I would love to share a lot with you, but the time is not there for all of us. There are future times that we can.
Can you give them a promise when we should be expecting a next episode in the leadership field?
Very good, very good. You would have me again, if God permits us with a life and strength. We will talk about student or youth leadership, what you have to do and what you don't have to do so that you build your leadership credentials. And my last quote is, let anything you're doing today find you a place tomorrow that you don't have to struggle to be believed. So everything you do today, ensure that it's such credible, it's such trustworthy, valuable, so that tomorrow it will speak for you. You won't have to struggle to explain yourself and you are not believed.
Let anything you are doing today be a testimony of tomorrow so that you will not struggle. These are the words of Mr. Riffath Yakub, the Executive Chairman and President of the National Academy of Students Achievement Awards. It's been a fine, incredible session with him, and I appreciate you for coming. This has been DTC Official. Don't forget, there is an article from this interview that will be published on the business section of dtcofficialgh.com. That is our blog site. Make sure you log on to read this article. Subscribe, like this video, leave a comment in the comment section below, and share this. My name is Amin Mohammed, and this has been an incredible interview. Thank you, and catch you next week, Friday at 7 p.m. right on this channel. Bye-bye. All right, Mr. Riffath, thank you so much.